Hey there, and welcome to a Crafty Lab behind the scenes video. What I'm making this time is a 22-ounce water bottle, and I've already printed the print, and I showed you a close-up of my pencil there. It said, "May the force be with you." And I've printed the print already, and now I'm just cutting off the excess paper so that it's the correct dimensions to go around the water bottle, which I already measured, and I'll get into that a little bit more later in the video. So I'm cutting the print in preparation for putting it onto the water bottle. So that's what the print looks like, and I'll talk a little bit more about the design of it. What I'm doing right now is putting a piece of tape in the center point so that when you're drinking out of the water bottle, the center of the design will be centered where the spout is. So I marked the center of the design with the pencil, and I'm lining it up with the piece of tape so I can make sure that it lines up correctly once you put the lid back on with the straw. And I'm putting the initial pieces of tape on to try and get it in the right spot, and then I am tightening that tape up because you need to make the print as tight on the water bottle as possible. And then you put heat resistant tape on it to hold it, and I just put a piece of tape all along the seam, and I'm going to burnish that down with a little scraper. And now I'm taping around the bottom edge. And this is not as important for a design like this where there's not a full color wrap going around it. We've got 5 pictures and a sentiment, but we don't have like a background color to it. So we don't have electric blue going all the way to the top and bottom. But it's important to get that tape down well. What I'm doing here is plugging in my sublimation oven and turning on the ventilation fan. Okay, while I have the oven heating up, I'm just going to walk you through a little bit. I took a picture of the design before I put it on the water bottle, and I'm going to pop that up on the screen now. And you'll notice a couple of things. It's mirrored and it looks a little bit dull. So sublimation ink is a little bit different than regular printer ink in that the colors come out dull when it's printed, but when it transfers to the sublimation blank, it's vibrant. The other thing is that it's mirrored because it's going on the surface, so you have to mirror it so when you take it off, it's correct. Ernie wanted a water bottle with his guitars on it, so he sent me the 5 pictures that you see. I put them on. I asked him if he wanted any text, and he told me he wanted, it's a base thing. I found a font that I thought would go well with it, and I matched the color of the font to a red that's in one of the guitars, and I sent him the mock-up, and he loved it, and he said, "Go ahead, no changes." So I printed it, and before this you have to measure. You have a special, almost like a body measurement tape, and you measure the circumference and everything so you know how much room that you're working with, and that's where you start your design, knowing how much space that you have to work with. So that's how I designed it. So once he approved it, I printed it on my sublimation printer on sublimation paper with sublimation ink, and that's what you saw me putting on here before. We're waiting for the oven to heat up, and I'm going to put some shrink wrap on here, which creates the pressure. For sublimation, you need 2 things for the ink to activate and then permanently bond with the surface, and it's heat, which is going to be provided by the oven, which is ready already, and pressure, which is applied by the shrink wrap. So I'm going to go use my heat gun to shrink the shrink wrap on this, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I've applied the shrink wrap on here, and you don't want to get it too tight with the heat gun, because if you get it so tight with the heat gun that it doesn't have any room to tighten up a little bit when you put it in the oven, sometimes the shrink wrap will split, and that's a bad thing because then you don't have pressure. So this is ready to go in the oven now. So I'm just going to reset it to the full 7 minutes because this requires 355 degrees for 7 minutes in the sublimation oven. So I'm going to go reset the oven to 7 minutes. I'm pausing it and I'm upping the time back to 7 minutes. I'm going to hit play and it's beeping because it's at temperature, so I'm going to stick it in the oven. So it's in the oven right now and it's going to be in there for 7 minutes. And I'm using the mirror this time so I don't cut my head off. I also put it up higher. But when that 7 minutes is up, I'm going to remove it with my sublimation tongs. The sublimation oven is a purpose-built sublimation oven. It's not a regular oven, although some people do buy an air fryer or an oven, convection oven, and convert it to a sublimation oven. But once you turn a regular oven into a sublimation oven, if you go that route, you cannot use it again to prepare food. Same thing with like the thing. I have a spatula to take things off at the heat press, like coasters and slate that are very hot and flat. I have these tongs to help me take items out of the oven. These are just craft tools now. So we're gonna wait until the 7 minutes are up and then I'll take it out. I think Ernie's really gonna love it and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. All right, it's beeping, so that means it's done. So I'm putting my heat resistant glove on using my tongs and I'm gonna grab it. It's easier to grab if the open end is on the facing out. Anyway, okay. You can see part of the design through the shrink wrap, and that is a sign of a good transfer. So it's really important with the shrink wrap to get it off as quickly as possible, or else it gets kind of stringy and it will start to stick. So I am just going to, I'm going to go here at the bottom with my scissors and I'm going to use my ungloved hand to pull at the shrink wrap to try and get that off as quickly as possible. And again, the shrink wrap was to apply the pressure because heat and pressure are the two required elements to activate the sublimation ink so it will transfer to the blank. All right, and the item is almost completely cool now. And I'm just taking the last piece of tape off so we can do the big reveal. So here we are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guitars, and we've got the sentiment at the bottom. It's a bass thing, and this turned out really well. These are photos that he took of his guitars. You notice when I was putting the print on, I put a piece of tape to mark the center because I wanted to make sure the center of the design ended up being here where someone would drink from it. So I marked that so that I could line it up, and there we go. Voila. I'll let you know what he thinks of it. If you'd be interested in a custom water bottle or a custom tumbler, I have multiple sizes and varieties, and we can put pictures, we can put pretty much anything that you can dream of on it. So I'll put up a couple of examples of custom tumblers or water bottles that I've done, including a close-up picture of this one. And just reach out and let me know if something like this would be useful to you, and if you'd like to get something that gets your photos out of your camera roll and into your real life where you can enjoy them. Thanks for watching, and please like, share, comment, and subscribe by hitting the bell on YouTube if this is where you're watching it, and that way you'll get notified whenever I post new content. But turned out really well. I think Ernie's gonna like it. This Crafty Lab video is lab tested and lab approved, and I hope you have a great day.